We're on to day 4 of TRL TV. It's becoming quite a habit. We're enjoying it because we are delivering great news for the owners of the Racing League. Your stable is now up to a massive 8 horses. We were hoping maybe 9 by this evening, but it's now at 8, and it is fantastic. Building, looking great, and we're certainly on track. Glad to say that he is on the move. We always say he's on the move as a CEO, Steve Brown, but he's literally on the move behind the wheel of a car. And Mick Malone, head of Bloodstock, joins us from the Gold Coast and the Magic Millions as well. Steve, where are you off to?
I'm actually off to watch my nephew trial for the Seagulls. So there you go.
There you go. Well, that is exciting times. Hey, Mick, well done again today, mate. The purchase of 2 beautiful yearlings. Let's start with lot number 673 if we can. This was a fascinating bit of, horsemanship in a way as far as the sales were concerned, because they tried to run you up, the auctioneer, and he said your tactics wouldn't work. We'll talk everyone through it, but it certainly worked. I think it got to about, I'll take everyone back to the lot 673, but they took you up to 220. You said, no, my bid's 210. And then he said, no, that won't work. Anyway, it worked. So well done.
Yeah, it's funny. I think whenever an auction slows down at a point, if it's going quickly, and I always like to, I think when you're getting to the end of the point where it's going to be knocked down, if you just slow down a little bit, it lets you pull a bid back. But they were adamant they weren't going to do it, and I said, "Listen, we're not 220, we're 210," and I just stuck strong. And like he said, you know, that won't work. We pull it back, someone will come over the top. But you know, thankfully they didn't. We were getting to the death of the sale. So, and what a really nice horse too. Like, I know we've chased a few Hellbents, and we've got a lovely Hellbent filly, but I'm a big rap for Magic Albert mares. He's just a young broodmare sire on the way up. He's an older horse, but he's a young broodmare sire on the way up. But he's really starting to get those. He was a fast horse. He's a really sound horse, and he's leaving that out of his mares. And actually, this colt was quite interesting because I saw him as a weanling. He went through the weanling sale. So that is, for people that are not sure, is you can sell them as yearlings like now, or you can sell them as weanlings, and they call it pin hooking. So you buy them as a weanling and then you put them through the Magic Millions as yearlings and try and make a profit. Well, they made a small profit. He was a $160,000 weanling. He was a beautiful weanling, which I at the time thought that was pretty heavy for a Hellbent weanling. But you know, it's paid off for them. But for us, I think sometimes they get too preps too. It really lays a bit of bone down. I think it's really good for them. Like we were just talking off air before, TK, you know, horses like, Zoostar, I know is a pinhook, Black Piranha. You know, there's been a lot of young weanlings bought and then taken through as yearlings. And I do think it does lay a bit of bone down, and they do a little bit more work throughout their life, and it helps them as racehorses.
Yeah, G-Trail was another one of them, and of course raced so well in the Everest. And again, we talk about this buying off good farms and good stock, and quite clearly, Steve, this coming from Yarraman Park, and there's no better producer in the last decade, I guess, than Yarraman Park with now Hellbent and of course Vinny.
Yeah, that's right, TK. They're having an incredible run, and it's actually good to see that. You know, they're good humans. And it's good to see good things happening to good people. It's an interesting comment Nick made earlier about when he saw the Yarraman yearlings parading for the first time, and he wasn't sure as they were coming out which ones were Vinnies and which ones were I'm Invincible and which ones were Hellbents. And look out if they're like I'm Invincible. It's going to be a fair bit of fun to be had there.
Yeah. I tell you what, on the track there was no more striking an individual as a racehorse than So You Think, and obviously we go down to lot 826, mate, which Mick was our second purchase of the day for the owners of the TRL, and this So You Think Bay and Brown colt has a fair bit of the father in him.
Very much so. He is a lovely horse. He's like, it's funny because So You Think you often buy one and you think you're going to need a lot of time, you know, because often they do need time. But I like this horse a lot. He's out of a Star Witness mare. Star Witness, I think, he's obviously very young broodmare size, so we can't gauge it too much. But Starcraft's done a good job, and I really think Star Witness mares are going to be a really, really nice outcross for horses like this. But his action's unbelievable. Like again, I always say, jump on and have a look on Magic Millions and look at him walking. He just has this massive fluid stride, beautiful bright eye. He's never looking backwards. He's always going forward. And when they get up to behind the sale ring up here, there's 5 or 6 other yearlings jumping and going left and right, and there's auctioneers and hammers falling and people yelling out. And it's really important for me to see how they handle that. And he just walked around there like he'd done it 100 times. So it was great to see. Lovely horse.
Yeah, he is a lovely horse, and obviously there's that perception, Steve, that So You Think need a bit of time, and obviously he won the Cox Plate at only his 5th start. It was quite incredible, isn't it, to think? But there's plenty of documentation that say he has winners as 2-year-olds.
Yeah, we don't have to go back far to look at Peltzer, trained by Gerald Ryan. He won 2 as a 2-year-old. He beat the incredibly precocious and speedy Anders, who's a new stallion for Whitten, at his first start. He then won again as a 2-year-old, was in all the big 3-year-old races in the spring, and then just got better and better and won the Stand Box, and then won the Bondi, and delivered his owners a truckload of cash. And a sprinter miler. I remember we interviewed Gerald Ryan about Peltzer because he was an Everest contender, and he was saying in his career, his best colts or his best racehorses have only run times that Peltzer was one of them that could reach this standard of time. I think Stitchland was another, and he had another speed machine. I think Stitzel might have been the other one. Yeah. So they can be quick, like really quick, and Peltzer's a really good example of when they come in this shape. The type of horse that you can get through. So you think.
And it's a sharp family too. Like it's a really sharp family. So he certainly doesn't look like a horse we're going to have to wait too long for. He might not be a pre-Christmas 2-year-old, but he'd certainly be a 2-year-old.
All right. And Mick, I don't know whether you've recovered or not yet, mate. I know you had your heart set on walking away from this sale with lot 792, this Merchant Navy, a bay colt from Crestfield Stud. And in the end, it was just a little bit too rich.
Yeah, I got to say, like the grey colt, the Fastnet Rock colt that we bought day 2, he just stood out to me, this horse, from the second I saw him, and we went as hard as we possibly could. Actually, he was bought by Kieran Maher, and we even went afterwards and asked Kieran if he could just hold the horse on our behalf. But by the time I got there, he'd sold it all, and that probably took me 3 minutes. So that's the sort of colt he was, beautiful, lovely. Anyway, we don't get him, so let's not talk about him.
No,
I've moved on.
We'll brush over that.
425,000. As beautiful as he was, the first season sire, as highly credentialed as he is, there has to be a price for everything, and unfortunately, I had to walk away. And Mick's gone through 2 boxes of tissues with his tears rolling down his face, but we push on tomorrow. There is another day.
Yeah, there is. I've got to say, Mick, so far, it looks like everything's tracking beautifully. I mentioned that we maybe ideally wanted to have 9 by the end of tonight, but really 8 quality horses. You'd be pretty happy the way things have panned out. And there's the big race day tomorrow. Then the sales are on again after the races. That's a long day for a lot of people. Yeah,
it really is. It is a long day up here. They're all long days, but we've sort of put some money aside for tomorrow night, and we've got some really, really nice yearlings there that we're focused on. So I'm looking forward to it, and there's a couple that stand out. So yeah, it's going to be an exciting night.
You happy with the budget so far, Steve? I think including GST, we're up around that 2 million mark for the 8 purchases so far.
Yeah, mate, I'm probably more happy with the quality of the horse that we've bought. I'm really excited by a number of them. The So You Think, we had Dean Hawthorne, who's a star bloodstock expert. Him and Ben Hayes came up to Mick straight away and said that was one of the highest rated horses they had in the whole catalogue, and that they just desperate to train him for the racing league. Peter Moody's come up to us and said the Pride of Dubai colt that we bought yesterday, that was one of his highest rated horses. And he said, that'll do me. Make sure he ends up in my camp. Now, that's not our decision. That's the decision of TRL owners, because that's the way this works. You guys vote and choose them through the draft. So that's going to be a really, really fun and important aspect of the league and where it all ends up. And we're going to get that kicked off before the end of January. You'll have to make those decisions. We're going to hold the first phase of the draft before the end of January. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get a couple more tomorrow, TK. Regardless, geez, we've got some very exciting horses to get the ball rolling.
Right. Yeah, it's right. And there were further vindication, really. We've had Michael Friedman wanting the Hellbent filly. I said, mate, there's a bit of water to go under the bridge yet. And Richard Friedman wants the Flying Artie that they were keen on. What we're trying to say, Mick, is these people are really good judges, obviously, of juveniles and racehorses in general. And it's nice if you buy one that they actually come up and go, well, we were on that. We didn't get it. You guys got it. We really like it to still be in our stable.
Yeah, it's validation, isn't it? It's a big tick. I actually just opened up the Pride of Dubai Just Add Water page, and Moody's actually ridden on it. Moody. I'm pretty sure he wants it. Pretty sure he wants it. No, it is. It is. It does. It really ticks that. Like it's this game. It's a funny game, but if you're buying those nice sound horses, often you get those good trainers ticking off. It's a really, really good start. Yeah,
no doubt about that. And we'll be cheering for Shaquera tomorrow in the Magic Millions from gate number 1, because we've got the half sister that we purchased. I think that was on day 2, which is terrific. Mick, thanks again, mate. Go and have a well-earned beer. Steve, you just have a beer. I don't know whether it's well-earned or not. And I'll have a little champagne. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on TRL TV.
Good on you guys.
Thank you.
Enjoy. Thanks, TK.
Bye.